last week we talked about what to do when your practice is full, but today we're going to talk about what to do if it's not, and if your call volume has slowed down. And before you even delve into why is the call volume slowing, you need to check yourself, look at your state. How are you feeling? Are you anxious? Are you scared, fearful? Are you excited? Do you feel calm and grounded? Because our energy is brought into everything we do. It's brought into the therapeutic work, and it's brought into our marketing and our business work. So if call volume has slowed and we have an anxious state of being or very fearful state of being when someone calls us, that is going to transmit over the phone, whether or not we think we hold it together really well. Really being aware of your state when you start approaching making any kind of decisions or changes in your business is super, super important. There are things you can do to change your state: affirmations, meditation, music, body work, body movement, talking with others, surrounding yourself with community that's positive. Next, you want to look at data. So a lot of times when the call volume slows down, we assume something like, oh, it's my fee is one of the first go-tos. It's really more that people aren't connecting. So first we want to look at some data, like first, how are you ranking? Are people even finding you? Then we want to see what the analytics look like. How do they spend time on the website? If they get off real quick, that can tell us that maybe we're not ranking for the right things. And if we do, we aren't connecting with them, right? Emotionally, and connecting with the pain points so they feel like, hey, this is what I've been looking for. So that data, all that silly SEO stuff actually does really inform what changes we can make on our website. So Google Search Console will tell us what we rank for. So maybe we're ranking for something we don't even specialize in, or maybe we are really doing well on our ranking, but then when people come to the website, they don't hang out, they're not going to specialty pages and things like that. That can tell us what we can change in terms of our website, right? Or even on a directory listing, maybe you get a lot of calls from different directories, and those have slowed. It could be that the directory has an influx of members, and maybe the algorithm, depending on the directory, has pushed you down, and so maybe you need to specialize more. So you've got to look at each platform and maybe that data that comes with it. Then you want to look at your marketing in the past 3 months. Usually the marketing has a bit of a delay effect that we need to pay attention to. So you want to do a review of what marketing you have been doing, an honest review of your marketing, okay? So where have you been consistent? Where have you not been consistent? What tasks have been effective? Again, data should be able to tell you if the marketing is working, right? So, oh, I'm blogging, but I don't know if it does anything. Well, are your blogs ranking? Do people visit those blogs? And does that blog have a call to action so that people know how to reach you easily? There's lots of things that we can look at in terms of the activity, and then we can look at the data to correlate to say what's working, what isn't. And then from there, you want to look at where can I diversify my efforts? So sometimes we can kind of get in our shells and rely on online stuff and just doing the website. Others of us can really just focus on relationships and forget about all that technology stuff. But it's a balance between both, right? So simple things like reaching back out to old relationships, creating new relationships, finding new connections, not just with therapists. Our community involves more than just connecting with therapists. We need to connect with other providers, because our clients who have anxiety, depression, fertility issues, marriage issues, they are all seeing other people to help with other pieces of that pie, right? So we want to connect with those other providers to provide a more holistic support to them in therapy. Then you want to look at your last year's data. And if you have multiple years, if you've been in practice for a long time, it's really interesting. You will start to see patterns. For some of you, you may slow down in February. Some of you may have the busiest months in February. So you start to see patterns, and then you can preempt those in the future. And then you can start to say, well, if my calls typically slow down in March, that means in December, January, and February, I need to pick up the pace a little bit to try to preempt that. It's really important that you're tracking your calls. This isn't just like based on assumption or a feeling, because again, our state can distort how we feel about how things are going in our business, and we don't always get quite the accurate we're not great accurate data keepers because we're influenced by that emotional component. Oh, maybe the volume has slowed down, but we're getting more of the right people and they're converting higher. We're not looking at more people just churning in and calling. We want to spend our time with the right people, the people that we know how to help. So it's not just about call volume, it's about call quality, right? And reaching the people that we're passionate about providing great outcomes for. And you can start to see, oh, I'm getting a lot of referrals from this one organization and they haven't been a good fit. I need to reach out to them. Let's get clarified and on the same page as to what's happening. Or, oh my gosh, this one doctor has sent a couple people. I've never met them before. I should reach out and connect. Though that kind of information can help enhance our marketing so that we're doing more of what works and less of what doesn't. I think it's also super important to get ideas from people who know you and like you and support you and want to see you succeed. You've got to kind of get ideas and then you have to align them with your values, your strengths, and the needs of your ideal client. So your marketing plan is going to look totally different than your neighbor's. But if you can get support from people who are like-minded and know that it's not about like, oh, you should do what I do, they're more interested in giving you kind of that supportive, creative juice flow. That is super important too in our marketing. So even if the phone has slowed, maybe you're not one of those people that has a full practice, it's okay. There's room. There's always something that you could do or do less of, sometimes let go of, and get drawn to. So join us in the community. It's free. It's off of Facebook. So that means that when you're in there, you're just focused on the business stuff and then you get out instead of getting in there and then talking to some family and then finding yourself down some other rabbit hole. It's purely a community just for private practice building, and we'd love to see you in there. If you have other ideas of how to improve your marketing, I'd love to hear them. Post them below, and we will see you in the community.